Tony Blair has received a hostile reception from protesters during an appearance in Dublin to sign copies of his memoirs. One anti-war activist attempted to make a citizen's arrest on the former Prime Minister, citing alleged war crimes. Other demonstrators threw eggs and shoes at Mr. Blair, but none of the missiles actually hit him. Police say they made a small number of arrests. Well, our correspondent David Blevins is in Dublin. So David didn't really get the warmest greeting for Mr. Blair there.
Well, indeed not. Some relative calm has been restored to the streets of Dublin after some angry scenes as the former Prime Minister arrived at that book shop on Dublin's street. Anti-war protesters outside were quite frankly astounded that part of the main street had been sealed off to accommodate his book signing. On the other hand, quite a significant number of people queued up for an opportunity to have their book signed, and one of those people turned out to be an anti-war protester. Katie O'Sullivan got close enough to Tony Blair to attempt to make a citizen's arrest. She told us what happened.
Well, as soon as I got up there and I met, he was running right in front of me, I said, "Mr. Tony Blair, I'm here to make a citizen's arrest you for war crimes." I didn't get to say very much else because I was immediately grabbed by 5 security men and dragged away. I cried out, "There's at least 500,000 dead in Iraq, you were broken the 4th Geneva Convention, that means you were a war criminal," and that was all I got to say to them. They wouldn't leave me wouldn't even stop. I couldn't resist because there's 5 people there, you know.
Well, the obvious question, I suppose, today is why has a former British Prime Minister chosen to launch his book tour in the Irish capital? Tony Blair's people say it's simply a matter of scheduling, but cynics, of course, might suggest that he is attempting to place the emphasis upon the more positive aspect of his legacy. In other words, attempting to shift the focus from the war in Iraq to the political settlement of Northern Ireland. But if that's what he was indeed attempting to do, well then it backfired spectacularly, because an anti-war protest on O'Connell Street and indeed that lady's attempt to make a citizen's arrest for war crimes means those are the things that are going to be talked about in the news today and in the newspapers tomorrow.